spiritual guidance and hope.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for pulling up a chair and spending a few minutes of your commute or your morning routine with me today. If these daily trench reflections have been helping you find some breathing room in your faith, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It keeps our community growing, and honestly, it helps us keep these honest conversations going every single day. So, let's talk about the spreadsheet. We all have one, right? Maybe not a literal one on your laptop, but a spiritual spreadsheet running in the back of your mind. We treat our relationship with God like a transactional corporate contract. We think, okay, if I put in my 15 minutes of morning prayer, hit my checkboxes, and avoid the major red flags, then God is obligated to hand over a smooth day. No traffic, no difficult coworkers, no anxiety. We want to manage the Almighty like a vending machine. But here's the cold, hard truth. Calvary does not run on a spreadsheet. Today is Wednesday of the 8th week in Ordinary Time, and our Gospel from Mark hits right at the bruised heart of this human struggle. James and John pull Jesus aside, and it looks exactly like a modern corporate power play. They are trying to secure the executive suite in the kingdom. They ask for the highest seats of honor, the glory, the security. They wanted the corner office, but Jesus offered them a servant's towel. He looks at them, and he looks at us, and completely flips our metric of success upside down. The text tells us that the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Think about that for a second. The great I Am, the one who holds every atom of your life in existence right now, steps down. We've spent the last few days tracking this massive unfolding reality of who God is. He is not a distant boss waiting for your performance review. He is the infinite self-giving love, the one who reveals himself not from a throne of worldly power, but from the dirt of the trenches. The church fathers used to talk about this as the divine humility. Saint Augustine, not the one from Canterbury, but the great Bishop of Hippo, once wrote that pride was the changing factor that turned angels into demons. But it is humility that makes ordinary humans like angels. The Catechism reminds us of this in section 2727. It says that we often fall into the trap of thinking prayer is just a psychological exercise or a production metric. We get discouraged because we feel like we aren't getting anything out of it. But the CCC points us back to the truth. Prayer is an alliance between God's heart and ours. It's an alliance of love, not a business transaction. And that brings us to our guide for today, Saint Augustine of Canterbury. Back in the year 596, Pope Gregory the Great looked at Augustine and said, "Hey, I need you to take a group of monks and go convert the Anglo-Saxons in England." Now, the pagan English at the time had a brutal, terrifying reputation. They weren't exactly hosting welcome committees. And you know what Augustine did? He got halfway there, became completely paralyzed by fear, turned around, and ran straight back to Rome. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt like an absolute failure. He looked at his own spreadsheet, saw his lack of courage, and assumed he was disqualified. But Christ didn't need a flawless superhero. He needed a servant. Augustine submitted his pride, stepped back out into the unknown, and eventually converted an entire kingdom. He became the live-action proof of today's gospel. He discovered that true greatness is measured by the size of your towel, not the height of your throne. As we move through these quiet weeks of ordinary time, remember, we are actually on a longer road. We are building momentum, step by step, leading up to the great Pentecost vigil. This is the ultimate why behind the daily grind. We aren't just trying to survive the week. We are emptying ourselves out, clearing away the transactional noise, so that there is actual room for the Holy Spirit to rush in and set our lives on fire. So, here is your micro challenge for the trenches today. Find one hidden, completely thankless task at work or at home. Wash the dishes someone else left behind. Close the laptop and genuinely listen to someone who is draining your patience. Or do that data entry without complaining. Do it entirely in secret. Don't brag about it. Don't post about it. Don't look for recognition. Step down from the throne of your day so that Christ can step in. Let these words from today's blog post settle into your heart as you head out into the world. Not to be served. The master takes up the towel. True greatness stoops low. Tomorrow, we are breaking open a theme that hits incredibly close to home for anyone dealing with burnout. We're going to look at what happens when your spiritual battery hits zero, and how a single encounter on a dusty road changes everything. You won't want to miss it. Until then, stay in the trenches. Keep looking for the towel.